Hi, and welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you could be here with me today. If you are new, I'm Tim. I upload new videos every week that are all about running. And I've put you guys in complete control of this video so you can skip around however you like to watch it. All you got to do is open up the description and you'll see that I laid out chapters there. Just click on a timestamp for the part or parts of the video that you want to watch and they'll take you right there. Today, I'm taking a look at a new shoe from Brooks. It's their Ghost 13. Now, this shoe was released in August, and then they just re-released the shoe under their Run Visible line. And we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. But first, I'm going to take these out for a run. Now, I won't kid you, I got a little chilly out on that run. As you could tell from some of that footage, it was snowing just a little bit, raining, so that kind of that sleet snow coming down on me. But overall, I'd say the shoes performed pretty well under those wet conditions, and we'll talk about that more when we get to the performance piece of this video. Now, this is a neutral road shoe. It costs $130 US. For a men's size 9, the stated weight is 10.1 ounces or 286 grams. Now, I put it on my scales and they came in a little bit lighter than that at 9.8 ounces. And the stated weight for women's on their website is 8.8 ounces or 249 grams. So let's dive in and we'll start with the upper. You know, one thing that Brooks has done exceptionally well over the years is to build a shoe with a comfortable upper, and the Ghost 13 is no exception to that. They're using an engineered air mesh material, and I think the air in that description describes how much thinner this material is, how light it is, as well as how much airflow it's getting over previous versions of the shoe. And you can see that it has plenty of perforations around in that toe box. One of the things that I'll note is that it did feel a bit more roomy than other iterations of this shoe in the past. It wasn't uncomfortable, but I think if you have a wider foot, that this shoe might be a little more accommodating than maybe others were in the past. Now, as we continue to look at that upper, you'll see that they have some 3D printed overlays, including their Brooks logo sprawled along the side of the shoe, as well as some peppered in overlays, plastic material, and so on throughout the back side of the upper as well. And that's to give it a little bit of structure as well as a little added durability. Now, I have to say that I love the look of this shoe. And I mentioned in the beginning that this is part of their Run Visible line. And so the material that they used also has a lot of reflective parts to it, including the logo, as well as some of these materials. And then you can see along the midsole area, that is all reflective material. So anything that's going to help keep me safe while I'm out running is a welcome addition to my gear. And, especially this time of year. Now, here in Michigan and good old US of A, every day I'm losing a little bit more daylight. And so in the mornings, it doesn't get light till around 8 o'clock and it starts getting dark around 7 p.m. So if you want to go out for a run either before or after work, chances are you're going to be doing it in the dark. So that's where a shoe like this, I think, really shines, pun intended, to help just keep you safe, help keep you visible to motorists, other runners, bikers, what have you, all of the things that go bump in the night. Hopefully it won't bump into you if you're wearing these shoes. So let's take a look at the tongue on this shoe. Now it's not gusseted, so if you're a fan of a gusseted tongue, you're not going to find that with the Ghost 13, but it really isn't necessary in this case. You can see that they've got some pretty wide wings, and it laid really flat and nice on my foot. I didn't have any issues with it migrating around. And you'll also notice as we're looking at that tongue, how they've added that reflective material here as well. So it's padded with a little bit of reflection just to help keep you safe. Looking at the eyelet chain on this shoe, there's really nothing special necessarily about it. It's pretty basic eyelet chain. But if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's doing a good job. I felt locked in and secure across that midfoot all the way back to my heel cup. You will notice, though, if you look at the laces, how they've interwoven that reflective material in their laces as well. So that's all part of that Run Visible line. Turning now and looking at the padding around the heel collar and tab of the shoe, you can see that they have a generous amount of padding here. I felt really comfortable when I was out running. The entire upper feels terrific. I have to say, Brooks does an amazing job when it comes to comfort on their uppers. Looking at the heel counter of the shoe, you can see they got some plastic overlays, but this counter is really stout. And you can see I can barely move it when I give it that pinch test. So it provides a lot of stability. For a neutral shoe, this is a really stable shoe to run in. And talking about stability of this shoe, I'm not referring to the stack height like you would if you were talking about a shoe like the Nike Next Percent, where people feel a little bit unstable simply because that foam is so tall, you kind of feel like you're waving around in the air. But rather, I'm talking about pronation. And if you're a neutral shoe runner, this shoe feels terrific underfoot. If you tend to overpronate like I do, it doesn't amplify that at all. It still feels really terrific to run in this shoe. So, if you look at the run footage that I had at the beginning of the video and we look closely at my ankles, you can see that, in this shoe, I have a healthy amount of pronation and I'm not overpronated at all. It felt really terrific to run in them. Looking at the insole of these shoes, one of the features that I do like is when companies include a removable insole. I've mentioned it, I think, in every single running video that I've done, but it's important to me. It's how I keep my shoes clean. When they get dirty, I like to be able to pull them out, wash them, put them back in, or if need be, change them out for something that gives you a bit more of a custom fit to the shoe. So I appreciate the removable insole that Brooks included here. And this one is cushioned, very cushioned. So it also softens your foot strikes, just kind of help you move through your gait cycle a little easier, a little more comfortably with that additional cushion that insole provides. So let's take a look at the midsole on this shoe. Now, this has a 32 millimeter stack height in the heel and a 20 millimeter stack height in the forefoot for a 12 millimeter offset from the heel to the toe. And they have two different foams underfoot here in that midsole, and they're co-molded just to make the experience feel more smoothly through your gait cycle from your landing all the way through your toe off. And on the one side of the shoe, they have their DNA Loft midsole material, which is the softest foam that they offer. And then on the other side, which would be the arch side of the shoe, they have their BioMoGo foam. So if you take a look at the bottom of the shoe, you can see that on this side of the shoe is where they have that DNA Loft material. And then on the arch side of the shoe, basically on this half, is their BioMoGo foam. I found it to be, pretty decent out on the run. I felt like that it was very smooth through my gait cycle. This is a middle cushioned shoe, so it's not a plush shoe, but it offers more than what a responsive flat shoe would offer. So again, it's right in that middle ground. I think they had just enough cushion to make your run experience enjoyable when you're out there, but not so much so that you feel like you're just sinking into the shoe with every foot strike. The one thing I will notice is that, when I was out running, I didn't feel like I was getting a ton of responsiveness out of the midsole of this shoe. Not like I feel like when I'm running in other shoes, for example, with the other 13 daily trainer that's out there, the Saucony Ride 13 that I enjoy running in. Their Power Run foam that they have underfoot just seems to be more responsive than this one. There's nothing wrong with the midsole on this shoe. It's comfortable. I just didn't feel like it was quite as responsive maybe as some of the other midsole material that I've run in this year. So let's flip the shoe over and we'll take a look at the outsole. And you can see that they have it covered with rubber from the heel to the toe. There's very little exposed foam underfoot. And it's thick. That's a pretty good amount of rubber that's there, giving you some durability with this shoe. Also, you'll notice that in that forefoot, they've got some flex grooves. And I like that. It did make my gait cycle feel a little more natural. And you can see just how flexible that is. So it was really nice. It was a comfortable, smooth transition from my heel to the toe. Also, you'll notice as we look at that outsole that they've got a cutout or a groove in that midfoot section of the shoe. And that too is there to help provide a little more of a natural feeling through your gait cycle. So overall, I think they did a terrific job with that outsole. Time will tell just how durable it will be. The material that they used, it's thick, but it's not as durable as some of the other outsole materials that are out there. For example, Asics and their A-Hard rubber is really durable, so they don't need much. They can have a really thin layer and it's going to last a long time. Now here they went with a thick layer of rubber, but probably not as durable a material. So we'll see, how it holds up over time in terms of durability. So let's talk about the performance of the shoe. I thought it did a great job. As a daily trainer, it's not super light. It's not super cushioned. It's right down the middle of the road. And I think that's part of the reason why this shoe is so popular among runners. This has become a flagship shoe for Brooks. It's a very popular model. So much so that I think if you go in and talk to someone at your local running store and you just gave them a number, they'd know right away what shoe you're talking about. It is that popular. And for good reason. There isn't a whole lot of negative things to be said about it. It's right down the middle of the road in terms of cushioning, comfort. It's not a fast shoe. So if you're looking for a shoe that has some wow factor, or a lot of cushion, this isn't probably going to be the right choice for you. But if you want a consistent or a consistently nice ride for a daily trainer, this shoe is worth checking out. So I've enjoyed running in a shoe. I've enjoyed making this video for you. If you liked it, maybe give it a thumbs up. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.